Do I have to? More Tudor drama.
Most girls would be giddy when they find out that a rich, powerful man wants to marry them, especially if he's the King of England. But for Catherine Parr, who just finds out that she's been earmarked to be the sixth wife of Henry VIII, her reaction is a little bit more like, fuck, ugh, this can't be happening. I'm back with more Tudor drama. I'm worried this might take 2 videos, so bear with me. But we're going to talk about sixth wife Catherine Parr. She's the sixth wife, the final Catherine. She's the final wife, final Catherine. You're with me so far, right? I've got to give you a little bit of history on this one. She's a spectacular woman. Catherine Parr was born in 1512, and she had one brother, one sister. Her father dies when she's 5 years old, which leaves her mother to care for 3 children. Now, normally, mothers in that situation would quickly remarry so that there's someone to help take care of them. But not Mama Parr. Mama Parr was like, I think I got this. And she did a brilliant job of raising her children on her own. And she made sure that they were all very well educated. And then she prepared the daughters for traditional lives as wives, right? She taught them to cook and can and sew and all the important things. But Catherine was very well read and she was extraordinarily well educated. In fact, historians believe that although Catherine of Aragon and Anne Boleyn both received world-class educations, there are many that believe that Catherine Parr superseded both of them. But this is the age where little girls get married early. So when Catherine is 12, her mother arranges for a marriage. Now, it never goes through, and we're lucky because that guy was dead like a year later. But when she's 13, her mother negotiates another marriage. Now, it takes a while to get through everything. So she's actually 14 by the time she marries. Hold on, I have to read this so I don't screw it up. Edward de Burgh, the second Baron Borough of Gainsborough in the county of Lincolnshire. He was part of a very distinguished family. They were married in 1526 when Catherine was 14. Lord Borough was 63. Now, like many girls that are married that young, she found herself stepmother to 30-something-year-old children. There you go, that was the norm. But Lord Borough died a couple of years later, leaving Catherine a widow at age 16. And then her mother died a year later. So here's Catherine alone at 17. In 1530, she receives a marriage proposal from, and I'm not lying here, the man's name is Lord Latimer of Snape Castle in Yorkshire. Lord Latimer was in his late 30s, so this isn't terrible. She's 18, he's late 30s. This is probably more realistic of what women in that era had to go through. Now they settle into married life. There's never any children between them, but Latimer had children from a previous marriage. Lord and Lady Latimer are around court a lot, right? They are a well-known couple, well-respected, and they are in good graces with the king. Now, Catherine is now 31, and King Henry has just executed his fifth wife, Catherine Howard, so he's on the hunt. And he spots Lady Latimer, and he's like, this might be a thing. And see, he starts giving her gifts, which is really unusual. You don't give gifts to a married woman, even if you're the king. But Lord Latimer was really sick, and rumor was going around that this man wasn't going to be around much longer. So the king's like, I see my opening. But the king didn't realize he had some competition. 2 months earlier, Catherine Parr started being courted by Thomas Seymour. Does that name sound familiar? Yeah, he's the older brother of the third queen, Jane Seymour. And Thomas and his brother Edward, during Queen Jane's reign, had been elevated through the ranks. They were members of the Privy Council, and they had really come into a lot of power. And so Catherine Parr is like, this might be a good match. Thomas Seymour is young, he's handsome, and it's a man of her choosing, which she really hasn't had before. She's basically like, you like me, I like you, my husband is not going to be around much longer, so once this is done, you and I, yep, we're a thing. They kind of had a mutual agreement. And that's when Henry sticks his fat face and fat everything right in the fucking middle. See, Henry's giving her gifts, and he's giving her lavish gifts. And Catherine Parr is kind of like, thanks, because she's not at all interested, but she can't turn down gifts from the king. Like, that would be a major faux pas. And this is a dude who basically has like a guillotine on standby in town square. So she's got to be polite to him, but she's in love with somebody else. But the king is like, oh, let's play cards today. Let's go do this today. And she's kind of like, okay. And she's being nice, and they're forming a platonic friendship. There's no way in hell she's even the tiniest bit interested in being wife number 6. As soon as the king realized he had some competition, it was time to adios Thomas Seymour. And no, I mean not like death. I mean, he sent him off to be the regent of the Netherlands. And he's like, bye. So he ships this guy off, and Catherine's like, fantastic. Now I've got no other option. Now keep in mind, Henry is no prize. He's 52 years old. They say, and this is a direct quote, he is so fat that such a man had never been seen. 3 of the biggest men that could be found could fit inside his doublet. This is mean. But even though Catherine wasn't a giddy little schoolgirl who was anxious to marry the king, she was practical and pragmatic, and she'd done this a couple of times before. She had nursed 2 previous husbands through their end of life. She'd been the mother to grown stepchildren, so she was well suited for this, and she knew it. She knew if she just did this for a few years, she could probably then afterward have the life she wanted to live. Now, Henry is also really stuck in his ways. He's got a terrible temper. He's practically immobile. That leg injury he's had for years needs constant dressing. So he's just angry, old, grouchy, like he's not exactly a prize catch. Catherine is the opposite. She's beloved. Everyone thinks she's an excellent queen. She exudes goodwill. She's intelligent. She is hungry for knowledge. She's perceptive, she's kind, she's an exceptional stepmother to his children. In fact, she's credited with bringing the family back together. So for once, all of his children, 2 of them, Elizabeth and Edward, who'd never really had a mother figure, she's basically the only mother they ever know. But her main area of interest was theology, which turns out to be a big fucking mistake. You see, because Henry's already like kicked Catholicism to the curb, which meant that a lot of Protestants are like, we see our way in. And Catherine was Protestant. Henry kept talking about reform, reform, reform. And Catherine was like, yes, baby, good idea. Yes, 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 you should reform. Many believe she was like secretly pushing this Protestant agenda on him. There was still plenty of Catholics that are like, no, 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 you don't. And the Protestants are like, shut up, Catholics, this is what we want. And so there's this huge kind of holy war happening in England at the time. And Catherine Parr kind of gets stuck right in the middle. Now I'm running out of time. I'm going to do another video. So much more drama in this marriage. Like, we're just getting to the good stuff. Please, please, please come back.